All right. So that video does not, I used to have another one. That video does not show more about Rosalind Franklin and that she was actually, she didn't, they stole her x-ray. And so anyway, she did not give them permission to use it, and then she really doesn't get a lot of credit for DNA discovery. And then when when they won the Nobel Prize, she wasn't named because she had actually already died because working with X-ray over long periods of time from radiation, she had cancer. So now we know that, and that's why you'll see X-ray techs wearing, that's, if you've ever had an X-ray, that's why they put the apron on you, or they, stand out of the room, or, but anyway, I think another video pops up after about the unsung hero of DNA, and her name, Rosalind. I can't think of her last name right this second, but that right there really is just an example of that she didn't get the credit, because I definitely know the name James Watson and Francis Crick. But anyway, all the same, they did a lot of work also in discovering she didn't discover the helix structure or anything. They did, just using some of her research, and she should just get the credit for that as well. All right, let's finish up with the 20th century. So the first kidney transplant in humans was in the 1950s. Then birth control pills are approved in the 1960s. The first test tube baby born in England in the 1970s. Now we're going to watch a little video on this in just a second. Test tube baby, that sounds terrible, but some of you may very well be. If you were conceived by in vitro fertilization, you've probably heard of that or known some people that have had in vitro fertilization. That's considered a test tube baby. But basically all that means is that they take the egg and the sperm and combine them in a lab for an embryo, and then implanted the embryo in the mom. So we call it in vitro. So anyway, but the first one was born in 1970. I think you'll like the video that goes along with that. Birth control pills being approved in the 60s kind of led to the sexual revolution, which led to AIDS in some sense. So AIDS is identified as a disease in the 1980s. And when the AIDS pandemic hit, we really didn't know what was causing it, or that it was sexually transmitted or anything like that. If you've ever seen the movie Forrest Gump, that was what the girl character, Jenny, that was what Jenny died from, because she had been part of that free love in the late 1960s, because now that women didn't have to worry about getting pregnant if they were on birth control, they could be more, free with their sexuality. But this is before we really knew a lot about sexually transmitted diseases, and other than syphilis, and which we had a cure for at that point, which was penicillin. So that definitely led to, birth control pills led to the sexual revolution, which then led to an increase in sexually transmitted diseases. All right, so we'll take a minute and watch this video, and now I promise we'll finish up. There's only one more video after this one.